Good. All right, so thanks for taking these notes down. This is just the second part of 2.6.1. All right, it's the first time in here. You guys nervous?
Yeah.
I'm scared. All right, so just remember we were looking at the vertex form because we looked at this months ago. The vertex form, remember, had this formula, and the shift in the x was this h value. We know that because we would look to the vertex formula and find our vertex. The x value was h, the y value for it was k. So when I'm doing translations, really I want to keep the vertex form in mind because when I go to translate a function, if my shift is in the x value, in our independent value, independent variable, then I'm going to put the shift right here. And because our standard form, or sorry, our vertex form has x minus h, just whatever the shift is in x, we can put it in here. So if it was a shift of 2, positive 2, I'd put a 2 in here. If it was a shift of negative 2, I put a negative 2 in here, and then it would be negative times a negative. It would work out and change the sign. Okay. So looking right here, into the shift from the origin, right? From the origin, what is the shift to just go from this point to this point along my x-axis? What's my shift?
2, positive 2.
What's my shift?
2.
Oh, good, you got it. All right, good. So we enter the shift. I would enter the shift right here, 2. Okay. Then I know that this value on the outside of our quantity here, it's plus this value, and that is the shift of the y value, the dependent variable. Right. The shift in the y is talking about up and down. So if I look here, didn't see that. Enter the shift from the origin. So from right here at the origin up to this point, what's the shift?
Shift of 3, 2.
3. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we're going to go shift of 3. So what I'm going to put here is a 3.
Oh.
You see how this works? Right? So yesterday what we did is we used a table to go into an equation kind of like this and plug in some x values, find our y's, and we plotted it. Now we're going from having some kind of graph to creating the equation, and we're going to use this process. Okay, so let's do one more example. So go ahead and jot this one down next to it. Let's see. All right, now I can close that. Woo. All right, so how about if this is a shift? Let's say we're going to go down 3 units and let's go to the left 2 units. Yeah, it's a little different than that. Let's change it up even more. Let's make it 4 units to the left. Okay. So first off, looking at that, we can even use a graph to kind of help us with this. Remember, the shift is always from the origin. So if I shift down 3 units, I'm just going to go down on the y, right? I'm going to go down to 3. 1, 2, 3. If I shift to the left, I'm going towards the negative values over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that my vertex is going to be right here. You see? Okay. Now I know that's the case, and I know this is the vertex. So if I take my translation kind of shortcut formula help here, I'm just going to put in x minus something plus something else. Okay. What kind of shift goes in here? Is this the shift in the x or the y?
The x.
The x, the independent variable. Independent variable, we can put in anything we want. The dependent variable is the answer we get. That's our y value. So I'm going to go ahead and put our shift in x, which was to the left 4 units. So if it's to the left, I know that it's to negative 4. It's to negative 4 out here. Negative 4, negative 3. How about if we have a shift down? What should I put in the other box? What goes here? This is our shift in which value? The y value, right? Okay. So if the shift in the y value, maybe they can see better. If it's the shift in the y value here, we're going down 3. So I put negative 3 here. And then I just have to deal with the signs because nobody wants to see negative, negative, positive, negative. We need to deal with it. so you can remember the rules of dating if you want. Let's do that. Has anybody actually forgot that? Or is it ridiculous enough you kind of remember it? Remember the dating rules?
Yeah.
The second option.
Right. You're in a bad mood because you didn't know there was a test in my class. And whoever you're going on a date with, bad mood because they didn't know about the test. So what kind of date is that? What can you do to each other? Talk with each other. Positive, because you can complain. You can complain about, I didn't tell you there's a test, which doesn't happen. Okay. How about if you're in a good mood on the date, your date is in a bad mood? What kind of date is that? Likely bad, but hey, anything could happen. Okay? So now we got to our equation pretty quick. So it's very related to what we did yesterday, but yesterday we were just graphing using a table. But here we're going to use this translation based on our shortcut ideas. It's just expanding on our shortcuts. And really it's all related to our vertex formula, so we know the vertex is right here. -4, 3. Remember our translated function we put in as dash? What was that? And then we have, might have to edit that out. I'll put a little closed caption. Okay. So, little emoji. All right, so we shifted down 3, we shifted to the left 4. Here's our new graph. Yesterday you were doing this pretty much from the function. You were doing a table to figure out what that graph looked like. But now we can go right to the equation. So how we feel about that? Thumbs up, sideways down? Thumbs up? Okay. If you have a question?
Yes.
What's
why don't
the
we solve it? Why don't we break down and multiply the 4?
See what happens?
Yeah.
You want to see what happens? Let's do it. So really what you're saying is we have it in vertex form. If I worked all this out, tell me what form we get into after I work this out. So what it's going to be is x plus 4. X plus 4 plus 3. Right? Foil this out. I'm going to do super foil. It's just really fast foil. Squared plus 8x plus 19. All right, so first off, this new form I just found right here, it's the exact same thing as up here. All I did was work it out. I did some more of the algebra. This was vertex form. What is the name of this quadratic form? There are 3 forms. We had vertex, we had factor form, and then there was this one other form where we really liked the letters A, B, and C. You guys remember? Starts with an S.
Standard form?
Standard form. Standard form. Blake, you knew that?
Standard form.
Good job.
Nice. High five. So remember, you can go between the different versions if you want to find different kinds of information. So what's our y-intercept for this? Y-intercept? How do we find that? Do you see the answer?
Is it 19?
Don't you put the
19.
I knew it.
The C value is where it crosses the y-intercept. So you see I had some information here about the vertex. I could switch it up. Standard form. Now I know where the y-intercept is. Okay. So if you're kind of recalling that part and you're seeing how it fits together, that's really great. When we get to the first part, the midterm review, we'll go over those things.
So you don't have to fully solve it out
No.
unless it's asking for the standard form?
Yeah.
But okay.
Oh, sorry, we're going to put it in vertex form. This form here,
Yeah.
we don't have to get it to standard form as well.
Okay.
Because we want to know where the vertex is. That is really what tells us what kind of translation it was. So this one's the most helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
so just to oh wow, just to clarify.
Yeah.
So every time you say shift, on one of the homework problems, it said shift that way, that way, and whatever.
Yeah.
You would always start at the origin.
Always a shift from the origin.
Okay.
Always a shift from the origin. Yeah.
No.
Whoa. Okay.
13.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a prank, bro.
Lucky number 13. You're right. That's always fun. All right. It all happens to everybody. I would get points for the work on that, but mine is only great. Any other questions? No? Okay, so it's your first time. Yeah.
Shout out my mama.
All right, sure.
Mama, I love you. You've been there since day 1. He's the best
Negative.
math teacher ever.
Negative.
But
Bye.
All right, that's nice. That's nice. All right, so what we do is subscribe on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Subscribe!
That's a good one. First period wins.
That's what we get.